Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for another episode of CEO Chronicles. I'm excited today. I have a tech award-winning serial entrepreneur here with me with an amazing story, and I'm excited because he's going to share it all. My brother and my friend, D. Nelson, Dom Nelson, brother.
Pleasure. Thank you sincerely for having me.
Let's do this, baby.
Let's go.
We're going to start over here, brother.
Let's do it.
All right, man. We're going to get these shoulders warmed up because I got bad shoulders.
All right.
Get you somewhere. Anything that you feel comfortable shoulder raising. I'm going to get a quick warm up. Get you some tens. All right. We're going to start
this way a little bit,
with shoulder raises here.
Right.
Today, everything 4 sets, 16 to 20. 16 to 20 reps. So I'm gonna start first, brother.
Okay.
I'm gonna get these shoulders in, but one thing I want you to do is if you can take whatever it takes you, just what's your story, brother? Dom, what's your story, man?
Man, I gotta put these down.
Put them down and tell your story. I'll go first.
Yeah, so ultimately, grew up in Greens Point. Him and I met at Westfield High School. I got exposed to entrepreneurship very, very early. At the age of 13, true story, my grandmother flew into town from Boston. She gave me $365 in coins. She said, "Hey, Nikki, I brought this for you." Those coins, I turned it into $4,000. I was selling CDs to my neighbors, my friends, everybody at school. And then from there, you know, it's been just this amazing entrepreneurial journey. I started 3 business ventures, started a tech company called Clev Tech. We help restaurants automate takeout. But before all of that, I had the opportunity to collaborate with my dad. And that was the most impactful thing. So my stepfather, he exposed me early on to what you could do with a computer, what you can do with graphic design and things of that sort. Turned that into what we call Sleepy Teepees. And that became a kid's toy, empowering kids to use their imagination through pretend play.
Yep.
Get them away from the cell phones a little bit, get them to interact with this plush toy doll. And then from there, Clev Tech, like I mentioned, and now I have a lifestyle energy boost drink called Techprenuer, another family-owned company, but behind that is ultimately designed to interact, have great conversations with great people, and show people that if you're an influencer, a go-getter, somebody in the world that's getting shit done, this is the drink for you. So it's been amazing, man. It's evolution after evolution. I think the companies that I've been able to participate in are an extension to myself, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, I often tell my friends, some people have extensions of themselves just through their children.
Yeah.
But it's a cool thing when you can turn extensions of yourself, your business, into the world for other people to enjoy. So it's been fun, man. Ups and downs, but in a nutshell,
entrepreneurship ups and downs now. Give me the age again. You said 13?
13, yeah.
13.
Started at 13.
You knew you had it at 13, or did you fall in love with it, or you were like, oh, this was,
Man, truly, I don't know where it came from, where it derived from, but I always had a fascination with doing shit that not everybody could do.
Yeah.
I think the stories that we're all telling, you have an opportunity to write a story that not everybody has written. And I couldn't see myself, this is just my story. When I made $4,000 at that age, it was an opportunity that was much different than the one that was presented. My mom found that money in a Crown Royal bag in a closet. And she thought I was doing something illegal. She was like, "Yo, Anthony, what are you doing?" I was like, "Mom, I'm selling CDs." But at that point is when I first got exposed to going to a bank and opening up a bank account and realizing that money for most people is just designed to pay bills.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do that. So once I got that exposure, I'm like, yo, I can create stuff, put it out in the world, not only make money from it, but meet amazing people, go on this incredible journey. I've been hooked since then. That's what I think it's all about. Yeah.
Get you a setting.
All right.
Get you a setting.
Got you.
Get you a setting because we still got to work out.
It's just a warm up, right here.
Yeah, this is just a little warm up. Man, this is cool. Not everybody starts at 13. You can start at 25. You can start at 30. You can start at 40. Amazing stories have been shared from entrepreneurs that started a multi-billion-dollar company in their late 40s and 50s. Some people just get to start early, so that's dope, brother.
Absolutely.
I love to hear that.
Absolutely.
Now, did you do any school? Did you straight out of high school into the pros, or did you go to college? Do you have any?
Definitely not. Very traditional path initially. My grandfather is the one that encouraged me to go to Texas Southern University. I went there. I got exposed to The military, crazy enough. So we had a meeting early on where you could possibly join the Coast Guard as an officer. I went to school for maritime transportation. I'm like, yo, this is pretty cool. Like, it gave me the feel that we had in high school. Like being around some of the greatest, most dedicated people in sports. That's what the military feeling was giving me. So I'm like, man, I may want to join the military. My uncle's done it. My grandfather's done it. I can do college, go into the military as an officer. I really entertained that thought. But more so than anything, I think it planted the seed that if I want to elevate my entrepreneurial journey, I need to educate myself to a capacity where I'm not really just running all day. I learn how to develop systems. I learn how to communicate in a greater capacity. I learn how to collaborate in a greater capacity. And I think that's what that 4-year college journey kind of taught me. And then from there, it was like, I want to take it up even higher. So I started getting involved in local communities in the city and then going from there.
Man, your first business was the toy?
Yeah, the toy. Yeah, okay. And I think you remember that.
I remembered it. I remembered it. I remembered it. I think I've always been intrigued by your businesses because they're very outside the box.
Thank you.
They're the type of things that I believe that can just implode and take over because not everybody's thinking of stuff like that.
Appreciate
you know, the tech side of it, brother. You're an award-winning techpreneur. Is that the correct word?
For sure.
Tell me about that, bro.
Man, so that ultimately came from literally the origins of it, my lunch being stolen at school and at work. So I just wanted to develop a community refrigerator, if you will, that had lockable compartments. Not anyone can gain access to it. It was controlled by technology. And I had no background in technology. My background was transportation and just more or less being a visionary with great plans to implement things. So from there, I went on this crazy journey. How do I prevent my lunch from being stolen? And that got me exposure to CNBC, where I saw Bluefish Concepts. It's an older show. It's about like taking ideas and bringing them to life. It's this firm out in California. So I was like, man, it would be crazy if I can just send this man an email and he'll meet with me. I send him an email, he responds, if you can be here next Thursday at 1 o'clock, I'll talk to you for an hour. So I was like, yo, one thing I did different on my journey, excuse me, one thing I did different on my journey is when I graduated college, but I had a $70,000 offer out of school. That's more money initially than I've ever seen. So I was like, man, I could probably do that. But instead, I was reading Steve Jobs' book at that time, and it helped me understand like nobody really knows what the hell they're doing. If you don't bet on yourself, then you probably will never make it. So I'm like, let me go ahead and take a job that really facilitates my entrepreneurial path. So I took a job at Southwest Airlines. I was making $14.75 an hour. Turned down $70K to make that, but the benefit was I got to fly for free. And by me flying for free, when that guy said, can you make it to California? Yes, I can. I got there, I took my team there, and he helped me understand how to actually develop a product, a technology product. So the initial quote he gave me was $500,000. We didn't have that at the time. So he forced me to think different. Like Damon John said, the power of broke. How can you build an MVP that'll get you initial traction and then start growing from there? So how we ultimately got an award is, first, it was one of 26 most innovative companies in the city of Houston. And then from there, that's that traction that you need. When you're having that conversation, people know who you are. Then we started getting our early adopters. My early adopters was kind of unique because I spent 90 days in my first restaurant, learning the operation, learning how it all works. So when we did build our final solution, it actually solved the problems that we wanted. And then that got us on the radar of Damon John with Shark Tank. He became an early stage investor, primarily due to a grant that we won. And then that just created national exposure. But it's literally just...
So you've met the Shark Tank.
I met him.
Been in the Shark Tank.
I met him. Talked to him in private, talked to him in public. I think ultimately the coolest thing I've learned is we all bleed the same color, man. And we all are dedicated in different capacities, but it's an amazing thing when you have systems, that's where the real scalability happens. In the marketing that you're talking about,
Now, let me, you had a conversation with one of the probably most impactful entrepreneurs
on the planet.
Man, what value, if you were to share, what did you get out of that conversation? Outside of, if we all bleed, but if you could say, man, this was worthless. This was just priceless. This was priceless. What was it? What did
it's going to be completely contrary to what you may think. oftentimes people think it's about the business component. I realized that if home isn't right, it doesn't really matter what you're building. You get what I'm saying? If home isn't right, it really doesn't matter what you're building.
Okay.
So if your home, the place that you go for rest, recovery, a place that you go and have your own real personal, intimate thoughts. If that place doesn't bring you peace, it doesn't matter what you do in the world, because you can't really go out in the world and be impactful when you're not moving from a place of peace. You're coming from a place of disruption. And when you're being disruptive, that's a good thing in tech space, but it's not a good thing when you're trying to collaborate at scale with people. So that's what I really learned from that conversation, man. Make sure at home is taken care of, so when you go in the world to do amazing things, it feels good. And the people will really want to work with you.
That's deep. Get you a set. Get you one more set.
All right.
I will say, Dom, bro, you're one of the most well-spoken people that I know.
Man, even right now, my voice cracking.
Even right now, 6 in the morning, voice cracking, bro. I love surrounding myself with people that, we're gonna do a working set, just a quick 16.
16?
Lead with your elbows.
Upward?
Lead with your elbows. Don't
like
lead
this.
with your wrist, lead with
Like
your
that.
elbows.
Okay.
Man, I love this. I love to hear it, brother. Not only that, but you have some amazing stories to tell. From the age of 13, out here flipping cities, making money, meeting successful and world-known entrepreneurs, winning awards. The next question,
yes, sir.
And I hate to get into early, but I've always wondered, one of your companies had an opportunity to exit, and you turned it down. Why?
I finally cracked the code. I've been trying to understand how to scale a business for the last 7 years, and I finally figured out what it was all about. To me, I've always been a person that want to decode systems to really understand how it works. And what I realized, it's 4 phases of business. Phase 1, the idea. Phase 2, the launch. Phase 3, scale. Phase 4, the exit you're talking about. But I wanted to master phase 3, the scale. And I realized that it's not what I initially thought. The valuation of a business is significantly important. Can't say that it isn't. But when it came to the intellectual property, that's why they wanted to buy the company. Patents and trademarks became my specialty out of necessity. I had to learn how to do it. My initial patent that I tried to file was entirely too expensive. The initial trademark I tried to file was way too expensive. So what I ultimately did is I learned how to do it myself. All that intellectual property that I did, the trademarks, the patents, is what got me into a conversation for an offer of $5 million for a business that literally was just an idea, right? We had 3 customers in the city of Houston for that business. He's not buying it for that. He's buying it for the systems, like the internal processes, how we reach out to customers, how we manage our workflow. He's buying it for that and the intellectual property. So I'm like, damn, if he's gonna offer $5 million for this, what would happen if we have 40 locations and this, 50 locations and this? The number can be substantially more. So I figured in 2024 and on, I'll probably spend the next 18 months scaling up the business, and then I'll entertain that conversation of exit again. And at that point, it'll be way better, So that's why I said no.
I love it. I don't know if I would have turned down that money when I first got into it. Where I'm at in place now, I think I will hold on. I've been in business for 9 years. I could thug it out another 10, 15 more. But I don't know if I would have turned it down. That is important. As I get my first set of ordinal press, we're doing ordinal press next.
Let's get it.
So I get my first sit in, man, I want you to take that in. Sometimes you don't have to exit. You got to thug it out a little bit more. You got to learn a little bit more. You got to add a little bit more value, and then you can take it to the next level. Oh man, I'm digging this. Dom, sports. Were you a sports guy? Were you fitness? What did you do?
Naturally, from the beginning, yes. I think over time, it changed.
Yeah.
I love sports, not saying that I don't. I'm watching right now Coach Prime on Amazon every single day that I can. I think it brings me that connection that we've learned from Westfield High School, you know what I mean? Being focused on pride and being devoted. But truly, brother, I kind of stopped watching. Because I realized in professional sports, no one loses. You and I, you on the Texans and I'm on a different team, we play each other. At the end of it, who loses? Nobody. You still get paid, I still get paid.
Okay.
So I couldn't see myself continuing to give 8 hours on Sunday to it. from that degree. So I found a different way to connect with the sport. So for me, it's like learning the stories behind the athletes. That to me is more fascinating than watching the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why is this player the way that he is? Why is he so dedicated, devoted? Why is he in a position to get the sponsorships? Why does he help the community in that capacity? That to me, as I've gotten older, is more fascinating than somebody running a perfect go route and catching a touchdown. So it kind of evolved over time. Yeah.
I like that. Can you go lighter if you need to?
So I'm up here.
Right there, bring it down, then bring it to the front.
Okay.
That's one. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Feels good, feels good.
Yeah, it feels good. I'm gonna let you get a set in, man.
It's the secret to the muscles, man.
Nah, this ain't the secret to the muscles.
No, it's not.
The secret to the muscle is eating, is staying consistent, is lifting weights, is getting some rest, is drinking your water. It's a lot of, but you know what's crazy? Secrets to success are there. They're in books,
Yep.
they're in YouTube,
Yep.
they're in podcasts.
Right.
We just gotta be willing to stick to them. You know what I mean? Like the whole success thing, the blueprint is already laid out.
True.
I read a book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
It's a 70, 80-year-old book.
Right.
And everything that was stated in that book is still true to this day.
Absolutely.
The power of manifesting, the power of goal setting, the power of mastermind groups, getting yourself together with the right people.
Absolutely.
And I believe in that, and I know you believe in that too, brother.
100%.
The power of mastermind, what is that to you?
Community.
Ooh.
Being in a position where you share thoughts, where you share dedication with people, it makes the collaboration more seamless.
Yeah.
You know? Like I know naturally you're a dedicated, honorable individual, right?
Yeah.
So anything that we work on, it has a greater likelihood of success. And then our dedication and devotion will be so in alignment that I'm sure we can build momentum in a very fast way. But if you try to do that with people that have different visions, different thoughts, the most simplest task becomes complicated unnecessarily, you know?
It's crazy. We, for those listening, we started a mastermind group 2019?
Yeah.
Around 2019.
Can I share something to that?
Yeah.
And you talked about like manifestation, right? So Saphir, right? Saphir and I was at Station Houston. Saphir reached out to me, but here's the crazy part. Prior to him reaching out, I was having deep desires, bro, of like building a community of people that we can really have conversations about life. The next day he reaches out to me. I'm like, yo, this is in alignment with exactly the same thought that I had. And then he reaches out, we have that conversation, and then it becomes bigger. Chris gets involved, you all get involved on my end. That to me, man, that was the biggest manifestation that transpired because it comes from like Think and Grow Rich. Yeah. But when you actually have it in real life, you see the power behind it. You see the power, like it's incredible.
I am so big on speaking things into reality. I am so big on manifesting and just sometimes people look at me and what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like it'll make sense in a few years.
Yeah,
right? Just know that, you know? And we started this mastermind group in 2019 and I encourage you to surround yourself with good people. You don't know it all. We sat down and in, 3 hours because it was supposed to be a 1 hour meeting.
Right.
And we just kept going and going and going. But so much value was added that next time that we set up, we put literally everything on the whiteboard. We talked about everybody's systems. We talked about what tools they were using.
Credit scores.
We talked about credit scores.
Personal
we
life.
talked about like everything.
Yeah.
This was a true mastermind that I believe that for those, 20 meetings that we had, it elevated my entire life to a whole different level. To this day,
Same.
I still use a lot of the things that I learned that day. So this is one of those people that I've known for years, and the world brought us back together. Business brought us back together.
Right.
And now we're still connected, we're still evolving. We're still trying to get more and more done. So
doing this right, huh?
This.
I'm doing this right, huh?
Yeah, you're doing it right. If it's working, you're doing it right.
I feel the burn.
You're right just by being here.
I feel the burn. Thank you, bro.
All right. So there's 2 sets of that.
Okay.
It is 4 sets of everything, but because of the podcast, I don't want to be here for 3 hours. And the conversations get going, we in between sets. So we've done shoulder raises, we've done Arnold press. Now we're gonna go into a little bit of upright rows. Let's go over here with this
Can I get some
I'll
water?
put that up in a second.
Can I get some water?
Get you some water. Get you some water and hurry up because people are waiting on you to answer more questions, brother. Huh? Yeah. All right, let's do this. Let me get you. This'll do. All right, we're gonna go into upright rows.
Okay.
Same scenario, 4 sets,
Okay.
16. And we're gonna go right here. I like this shirt, brother. When I put it on this morning,
Don't
I
quit.
felt like it was gonna empower some people.
Oh, I just realized like the lines make it spell out, do it. Ah, I like
Don't
that.
quit, but you do
Yeah,
it.
that's pretty clever.
I feel like it was perfect for the
Yo,
video.
I like that. I like that.
I need people to know because one of your slogans is bet on yourself. Right?
real.
And I think that's big. If you're gonna bet on anyone, bet on yourself.
That's true.
There's been a lot of times in my life where I had to go all in. I didn't win every time, but when I did win, it was a good return on investment. So if you're gonna go all in on anyone and you're gonna bet on it, bet on yourself. Where did you come up with that, Dom? Where does that come from?
Man, honestly, it's gonna sound weird. Once a month, I go to a graveyard.
Yeah?
Literally, I go to the graveyard.
Okay.
I learned that, you know how you have like iPhone 1, iPhone 2? In the tech space, we often, products become old, they become inadequate. It's just due to evolution of design, product development. But I thought, I'm a human being. The old version of me can die as well, right? So why not go to a place where life has already, quote unquote, ended for people, and in the old version of myself in that present time and allow a rebirth. So every month I will go there, I'll look around the graveyard, rest in peace to everyone there. I kind of jokingly say like, which one of you all are actually faking your death and out here living for real? And then I tell myself, thank you for all that you've done the last 30 days. Now it's time for the new version of you to exist. And for me, that's that accountability factor. Puts me in a point where I don't get married to old ideas, old ways of thinking, or even old versions of myself. I allow that to go so the new version of me can exist. That came from just seeing product development and tech, but I think as human beings, it's okay to say, bro, you've done good. Now the new version of you needs to exist. And that time frame, I also want to add to that, when it comes to time, I'm really mindful of that. Like, I know we're in week 51 right now. I saw, this is really cool, bro. I saw Steve Madden, the guy that creates shoes, right?
Yeah.
I saw a documentary on Netflix. This guy goes from being evicted out of his home, not having much of anything, to a multi-millionaire in 100 days. And he calls it like the power of being stupid focused, right? Of course, his collaborations, his skills, and all that behind it. I'm not saying that it isn't, but being stupid focused, he changed his life from being evicted to a millionaire on a private jet in 100 days. So for me, I live my life in those 100-day cycles, but every 30 days, I go say goodbye to the old me so the new me can exist. So that's where the bet on you came from. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
That's deep.
sure.
That is deep, and he is true. Look, a lot of people don't understand how much you can accomplish in 100 days or 90 days or a short period of time if you happen to go on in. Now, a lot of people unexpect or think that a lot of things can happen, but you just got to commit. Let me say that again so I don't mess it up and confuse anyone. A lot of people misunderstand what you can accomplish in a period of time if you go all in. Now, a lot of people that you could get a lot in a short period of time, but you can't do it if you don't go all in. If that went over your head, excuse me, I'm tired, I'm sweating. But know that short periods of time can elevate your life if you commit 100%. I've done it.
Yeah.
In 75 days, I transformed my life. I did the
100%.
75 hard program, and in those 75 days,
Respect.
the old me died,
Yeah.
and the new me was born.
Yeah.
I do things now that I wouldn't even think were possible 3, 4, 5 years, 5 years ago when I started.
Right.
I look around and I spent 5 years, bro.
Yeah.
Spent 5 years where the longest I went without going into the gym was 4 days.
Wow.
Literally, I went a whole year without stopping.
Wow, that's incredible.
So I do believe that if you dial in
Yeah.
and you commit to something, really 30 days, I encourage you. If you think 100 days is too much, Put 30 days on the calendar, set some goals, set some tasks, and stick to them every single day.
Yeah.
In 30 days, your life will be different.
Absolutely. You know, the one thing I like about you doing that 75 hard, I remember you telling the group, I forgot what was the reason, maybe I think you missed a workout at the end or whatever, but you started over. You held yourself accountable.
My wife did. My wife, I started and completed all the way through.
Yeah.
My wife, at 21 days.
Yeah.
If you don't know, I'll do a quick explanation of 75 hard is. What he does is, Andy Frizella, my guy, if you ever see this, thank you. You put something into the universe.
Absolutely.
That is making a difference. He created a program. It's a self-taught program. There is nothing to pay for it. You have to do 5 things every single day. You have to take a progress picture of yourself. You have to read 10 pages of a self-development book.
Yep.
You have to drink a gallon of water. You have to work out twice a day for 45 minutes. Now, one of those has to be outdoors. And then the last one, you have to commit to a meal plan, no cheats. Now, the thing about it is 75 days, consistency nonstop. If you stop, if you fail, if you cheat, if you overslept and you didn't drink your water, whatever, you have to start all over.
Right.
My wife, me and my business partner started it on the same day. I was 210 pounds when I started. I was 160 when I finished. This is 75 days.
Wow.
My business partner completed it the same day. And in 17 days, bro, I lost 17 pounds.
Yeah.
So my wife was like, I'm in. She started it, and in day like 21, unfortunately, she forgot to finish her water, and we were cutting it off at midnight.
Okay.
And I saw her, I knew it was big when she started crying. And I was like, dang, it's just, she was like, no, it's bigger than just a challenge or a program. This is me failing on myself. And the next day, she woke up and went right back to it.
Ooh, let's go.
She did,
let's go.
She did almost 100 days of the program.
Wow.
All due to 20 ounces of water that she didn't complete by midnight one day.
But you could have easily looked over that. She could have easily looked over it, but you all said, nah, we're gonna stick to the program and restart. I think that mindset is a testament to the success you've had, right? Like just staying committed, not taking any shortcuts, even though you can and no one will ever see, but you knew in your heart that you didn't follow through. So you pivoted back to staying on that path. I respect that a lot, bro.
I am the biggest critique of myself. And sometimes it's bad, don't do it as bad as me, but I'm my biggest critic.
Yeah.
I don't think that anything I do is good enough. Because I know that I could have done better. I know that I could have gave more. I know that I could have done one little thing that made a bigger difference.
Right.
So I am my biggest critic. I downplay myself too much, I put myself down, but it's also because I have high expectations and I've been manifesting things and I have to live up to them.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Man.
What we got?
All right, let me check the time. Let me check out the workout. That's it with those. That's it with those, Dom. Hold on.
The weights,
you can put that one up.
My bad.
Let me look at the last workout.
Okay.
And then we'll go sit down for a little bit.
All right.
We're gonna do some around the worlds to finish it up.
Around the world.
Around the worlds. And I tried to keep it with dumbbells today. This is, if you wanna do this at home, all you need is a set of dumbbells that you could have done with dumbbells. I try to keep it simple today because I knew that the conversations were gonna go long and we can go for hours. So we'll put the workout at the end of the video. I'll write it in the description so you can do the whole thing. I'm not cheating because I'll get back to here later today and finish the workout, but we're only gonna be able to do half of it so we don't have a 2-hour podcast. We still got more things to share.
All right, let's get
These are around the worlds.
I got
now,
you right here.
I'm gonna show you one set.
Okay.
And then I need you to answer a question, brother. Talking about the world, traveling.
Yeah.
I know you've done a little bit of traveling. I know you've seen some things, bro.
Yeah.
What's out there? What's out there for people to know that, man, it's more than the city you're in. It's more like, what's out there?
Man, I've often traveled for 2 reasons. One reason is to connect, to pitch, to share the business. The other reason is to disconnect and get away from things. I think the most enjoyable thing I've done as of late, I want to say it's near Austin. It's an off-the-grid tiny house.
Yeah.
So my lady put that together as a celebration. Crazy, you get off the grid, disconnect for a celebration, but it was that moment in like a peace, solitude, and also you just get to kind of disconnect to an extent where you feel more connected to yourself.
Yep.
So that's been like the most enjoyable thing in terms of vacation. The other parts of that, like going on business trips, you kind of do see different ecosystems or collaboration centers, if you will, where some places have the means to like streamline success in a greater capacity than others.
Yeah.
Like it's been, historically speaking, California has been very well known for tech.
Yeah.
But now you see a lot of that coming to Austin. And that's right around the corner from us. And then also actively just being involved in the tech space here, now we have it even closer. So what I'm realizing as I travel from a business standpoint, the closer you can get to collaborators and creators to build, the faster things can happen. And that's a beautiful thing. And then traveling just for pure enjoyment, I'm finding more enjoyment in just disconnecting, kind of getting off the grid a little bit to reconnect with self and family.
I will second that. Me and my wife did a getaway is what it's called. Similar cabin.
Okay.
And there's power in disconnecting yourself from the world. As much as I would love for you to sit here and watch my videos all day, turn this bad boy off, go get you some pen and paper, and just go get back to the old you. It really, if you can learn to disconnect from society, 15.
Being honest with you, bro, I missed exactly what you was doing.
Around the world.
Okay.
My bad.
So I'm starting here?
Yeah, right there, all the way up?
All the way up.
All the way up. There we go.
There we go. That's good.
This is probably the hardest podcast workout I've done all day. All the other ones were kind of chill. I'm in here sweating. But I'm digging it. I myself, and I've been knowing this man for years, but I myself picked up some things from this podcast so far. I hope that you've picked up something so far. Because if not, we're gonna go upstairs. We're gonna slow down for a little bit. This is the last workout we're gonna do. And then we got some gems to put out.
Yes, sir.
Once the sweat stops pouring and the breath comes back, we got some more gems to put out. Let's talk about wins and losses.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship comes with big wins and big losses. Can you share some of those, bro? And I'd rather you focus on the losses than the wins.
My losses, bro, to be honest, I take them extremely personal.
Okay.
And sometimes it really don't even be about me.
Yeah.
It just be about like that time wasn't the best time. I think the most recent loss I had, $20,000 on a pitch competition, right? In the tech space, and I keep mentioning tech, but there's so many other things I'm involved in. But in the tech space, I had an opportunity to pitch recently for $20,000, right? The lesson I learned in this moment was I was one of the people selected to pitch. The likelihood of me winning was probably 95%. That's not me being arrogant.
Yep.
It's just me knowing the criteria that they had in terms of traction, growth, partnerships, trademarks, patents. We had all of that. So all I had to do was deliver the message to the people and the judges make the final decision. But here's what happened. Sent the application, got a message saying, oh, you're ready to go. I sent the follow-up email, being involved in a lot of different things. I'm like, that opportunity you have on Friday will work better on Saturday because they had 2 days. Sent that email, he never got it. So, long story short, I saw him recently. He said, I apologize, I didn't see your email. What I learned in that moment is just because you know someone professionally and you often use email to send that communication, that correspondence, I should have just shot him a text and say, hey brother, appreciate the opportunity. I can't do Friday, but I can do Saturday. Is that okay with you? I sent you an email about it. By me not sending that text, $20,000. I took it personal for like 48 hours. So I'm like, damn, should have checked the email. That's where he sent the congratulations, you're in. But I realized in that moment, if you have that personal contact, go ahead and just say, hey, I shot you an email. Take a look at it when you get a chance. That was like the biggest lesson. It's small, but that 20K, it wasn't even necessarily about the funds, it's about the exposure. Because when I pitch, I create more exposure, more opportunities for collaboration, whether that's customers or just somebody saying, hey, I can add value from a collaborative standpoint on X, Y, and Z. So that's the biggest loss. I take them personal though. I have to, because I think this business and all the ones that I'm involved in is a reflection of me.
Yeah.
It's an extension of me, you know? I don't have children at this moment, and I don't see my businesses as babies. That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But I do see it as an extension of me. It's an artistic expression that came through me, so I want to cultivate it. So when I miss out on opportunities like that, it bothers me, big time. And my wins, I probably should celebrate them more, because I'm often like, oh, that was good, what's next? But now I'm learning, my lady is like, hey, take a pause, we're going out to eat. Take a pause, we're gonna go out over here. And that right there is actually more fueling than keep going. Taking that break and saying, damn, you did good, bro. That feels good, and it gives you that you need to start the next chapter of whatever you're working on.
Get your last inning. There's a couple things that I want to point out that he said. One, celebrate your wins. I know entrepreneurs are tough, and for me it's tough. But man, be grateful for what you have. Blissful dissatisfaction is the best way I can explain it. Be so grateful for everything you have, but be hungry enough to go get everything you want. So appreciate the wins. And I think that alone is a big dub. I'm actually tired today. I haven't been this tired in a while. I've been, I finished the show.
Yeah.
And the intensity was so high during the prep.
Yeah.
So I've been.
It takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, it does.
Sure.
I had a conversation with a 60-year-old bodybuilder yesterday.
Yo, that's incredible.
And he's been in here his whole life.
Wow.
And he said, man, I do this. This is what keeps me going. This isn't for the money because you don't make no fucking money. He's a professional. He's an IFBB pro.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't do this for the money because you don't make no money. I do this just because I need to live. Like, I need this to live. If it wasn't for this, I wouldn't know what, he's a successful entrepreneur, owns a bunch of stuff.
That's amazing.
Successful. Well, and he was just like, man, I love this place. I come in here, the culture, being surrounded by 300-pound people that are working, being surrounded
that transformation,
Yeah, bro, it's beautiful. So this whole fitness thing is life-changing. If you're not into it, get into it. You don't have to lift weights. Get into yoga, get into biking, get into cycling, get into whatever. But let's do it, bro. Let's put these weights up. We're gonna go upstairs.
Racking the
We're
weights.
gonna calm down for a little bit.
All right.
And then we'll wrap this up. Just finished a great workout. We'll post it all at the end. Amazing conversation. I've taken myself a lot. I was so deep in the workout and the conversation that I even lost my train of thought a couple of times. But now that we've calmed down, now that our minds are in a good place, bro, what's next for you? What's? I know you got this.
Yeah.
I know you got. But is there a next, or you're only focused on right now?
No, it's definitely a next. I think the cool part about like this time of year, just in general, is like a lot of things slow down, which gives me an opportunity to kind of refine my game plan going into the next year. Ultimately, what I want to do is get more involved in real estate.
Yeah.
And we talk about like just divine things happening or just manifestation. Because of a pitch opportunity that I had many years ago, like almost 3 years ago now, I met two amazing guys, Kevin and Kevin, best friends. They built a business together. And I kind of always talk about like you and Juwan, like Matthews 18:19, basically if two people shall agree whatever it is it will be, like you can see that reflection in like Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett. You can see that in like Shaq and Kobe. It's like always two, Drake and 40, it's always two people that it seems to take to do something extremely powerful and great beyond just ourselves. So when I went out a couple of years ago, I ended up at Rutgers, I pitched there, I met Kevin and Kevin, connected with these guys on Instagram, and then they were friends with my now significant other. So because I connected with them, I became a quote unquote suggested follow for her. And her and I connected. She's on entrepreneurship as well as I. And then we just started building a rapport, sharing information. Long story short, it became a relationship, right? She moved from Jersey, now she lives here in the city. So you asked the question of what's next. She's been involved in casting for like 9 years, working with Hulu, Netflix, Oprah Winfrey Network, the list goes on and on. So me just being an inquisitive person, I love learning about the back end, like how does somebody really get on TV and stuff like that, right? But then she loves real estate. She got her license in Jersey, she got it here. Bro, I really want to see if we can make our run on developing like this micro content around flipping houses, but not to the point where we've already seen on HGTV about like the before and after. It's gonna be the before and after, but it's gonna be like this small segment that's gonna be called Run the Play. It's gonna be a small segment called Run the Play. And in that segment, we literally discuss the inner workings of our deal, like how we got the funding, legitimately. What did our credit score have to be to truly get this? The headaches that may come with contractors and stuff like that. I want to do that. So that's like what's next. And then also, I'm pretty fascinated with T.I., mainly because the world that I come from, you don't often see a full structured family household.
Yeah.
But like just seeing it from the television lens and seeing him with his family, I want to be able to do that with my family. So it starts with her and I. We get involved in real estate, and then we build businesses from there. And then also, as I have kids, when I do, I get them involved in the business as well, and we start moving and growing from there. But yeah, that's what's next. Get involved in real estate in a greater capacity. Elevate my company from the 3 locations, Club Tech, that we have here. Even though we got a lot of traction, 38 customers working with Damon John, got the offer for $5 million, but I want to see if I can grow it. I'm in that scale phase right now, and then work on this, the lifestyle energy boost drink. These are all different avenues, but they ultimately on the same vertical. I'm in a restaurant space already. Why not have a beverage in that space? My lady's already in real estate. What can I do on the back end to help her facilitate victories in that from an operational standpoint, from a financial standpoint? So all of these things are beautiful, bro, but they just, to me, the money component will come, but I just had this fascination with building shit, to be honest with you. Like, I love it just being an idea, and then
no, you got a lot
business
going on, brother.
Yeah.
What are your systems for someone like me or someone that's watching that has a job, a career, or 3 businesses? Or what are your systems?
Number one, stay lean. In the tech space, referencing that again, but it's ubiquitous. It applies to every business. Stay lean. Don't overstock on product, right? Don't be like, man, we're gonna sell 1 million. Do you have 1 million pre-orders? Then don't buy 1 million worth of inventory, because that capital can be reallocated towards building your website out, doing your social media. It can be reallocated towards marketing. So stay lean, that's number one. Like, even when I first started, I stayed lean as I possibly could. In the tech space, it's common for people to raise $500,000 to start. I raised $32,500, I put in 60, and my company profitable. Other people that in the tech space, they raised $500,000, they're not profitable because they didn't stay lean. They took on more overhead than necessary. They signed partnership deals that they couldn't actually fulfill. We never did that. And then the other component is, I'm a nerd, bro. Like, LinkedIn certifications will change the world. I don't see a future where college will exist, not in the capacity that it does now, because how fast information is going. So those that can get certified in different forms of information, for me, the Lean Six Sigma certification, if you do research, you'll see like most Amazon executives have this Six Sigma certification. That's your operational efficiencies that most people in business don't want to lean into, but that's where your business truly exists. Right, you have the product, that's the hard part, the product or the service, but behind that is what systems do you have in place to fulfill that order, to deal with, like, you have a team, right? How are you handling bad actors in terms of accountability, right? Or how are you managing your intellectual property? Developing all those internal systems is something that I became really good at. So staying lean and developing your internal systems through Lean Six Sigma certifications that you can get on LinkedIn, or any other, bro. You can do marketing on LinkedIn. All of these certifications just give you the cheat code, if you will, to being able to grow and scale your business and then rebuild yourself.
So even with that,
Yeah.
do you have your systems, you have all this stuff. How do you manage it all? Are you a very organized person? Are you a
Google Drive and Trello.
Okay.
Yeah, so everything will start off with me just writing it down, and then I will get on Google Drive, because in order for a business to scale, it has to be accessible for everyone throughout the world, and being online is that portal. And then Trello, I use Trello on the back end mainly to be able to manage the completion of tasks. So if I'm doing something with the product, like trying to develop the logo, so we have our collaborative session, what are some of the key elements that we want in this logo, this product design, and then managing it on Trello from start to completion. So Trello for me, for project management, and then when it comes to like accessibility to all branding, tax documents, internal dialogue, that's all on Google Suite, whether it's Gmail or there's Google Drive. Yeah.
And I hope y'all writing that down. I hope you took some notes down. That was part.
I felt like that was a lot.
No, I think they got to take the notes down, man. That's what I said earlier. Whenever we had our first mastermind meeting, we sat down and we put all these things on, like, what are your tools? What are you using? And Trello, Google Drive, all this stuff. If you don't already know about it, do some research on it, but get organized. I'm not the most organized person, and I asked this question because I could definitely improve on it. Yeah. I need to fix my systems. I have a lot going on. I need to fix my systems. Yeah. I know you're very, I do this, I do this, I do this.
You know why though? Because if I don't, it'll feel like work. And the very nature to me of entrepreneurship is to go on a journey. Like, you don't want to go on a journey where you're like, man, where's my suitcase? Where is this? Like, the only way you can avoid that is develop the systems. It's nasty, it doesn't feel good, but once it's there, bro, all you gotta do is just manage it, you know? Like, I'll have conversations with a lot of guys and it's like, man, I'm here every day from 6 a.m. to 11. That's cool, but I don't admire that. You know why? Because you're neglecting your family. Just by not developing systems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you develop, not you, but just in general, with systems, it gives you the opportunity to almost automate processes. That's what everything is going towards, automation. But then it gives you more time with the people you love. And that's really what I'm doing this for. Like, I'm doing it for the people I love, to collaborate with people that I like. And if I don't do those systems, I don't really get to enjoy these moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Now, I'm gonna ask you one last question, and you shared a lot, bro. You probably shared a lot of wisdom. But if it's one thing that you just had to make it the parting wisdom and just the last thing that you leave for this camera, for anybody who's listening, what would you?
The thing that I would share is something that my grandfather often tells me. Slow down so you can hurry up. It seems very contradicting, right? Why would you slow down so you can hurry up? Ultimately, what I gather from it is you're not in a race with anyone but yourself. And oftentimes, you're your best self when you're not rushed, when you're not running through processes, when you're not trying to run to completion. When you actually slow down, make calculated movement, everything's a risk, so just try to make it a calculated risk. But when I slow down, I'm able to hurry up. I don't rush out the house and be like, oh, I left my wallet, oh, I left my keys, or like, oh, I need to prepare for this. So I just really just try to slow it down. And then the last thing I would say is show up before everyone else shows up, because you never want to feel like you're rushed. If you're doing a podcast, if you're doing a meeting, be there before everyone else gets there, because it gives you an opportunity to check in with yourself in that space before other energies come around, before other conversations come around. It gives you that brief moment in time to say, what's going on with me so I can be the best for what I'm about to do with someone else.
I think that was for me, bro. I don't think that was for the camera. I think that was for me.
Why you say that?
I needed to hear that. I'm always on a rush, and I'm always trying to get somewhere. And I think that was for me. I wasn't even, if it was for you, take it, but I think that was for me. Brother, I appreciate you.
Nah, thank you, brother.
I appreciate y'all. This was awesome. This was meaningful. This was valuable. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you got anything out of this, share it with someone. Just be great. Don't make a difference in the world, brother.
From the most genuine place in my heart, bro. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I'm here because I believe in you just as much as you believe in me, man. So thank you, bro. Big salute.
Let's do it, brother.
Blessings.